You know, I talk to audiences all the time, and sometimes I'll ask my audience, how many of you have been divorced? And over half the people raise their hands. And then I say to my audience, how many of you, when you grow up, your parents were divorced? And much less number. Now that's starting to change more in the next generation. But most of the people, they don't raise their hands. So their parents stayed together, they divorced. Then I say, how many of you who are divorced have better communication skills than your parents who stayed together? And they all raise their hand. Of course, today we feel we have better communication skills than our parents. So if communication skills are everything to make a relationship work, why are we having so much challenge? Why? Because the communication skills our parents had worked in a role mate relationship, but they don't work today in a soulmate relationship where you have a conscious woman and a conscious man. The conscious man is free from the limitations of being a role mate. He says, I want to be all of who I am. And the conscious woman says, I want to be all of who I am. So you've got, instead of being in the bedroom, you've got one or two people. You've got four people. You've got him, his male side, his female side. You've got her male side, her female side, all four. And that's who you're living with. And we need to learn to create peace in all of these. For our parents, basically what happened is my dad, my mom, didn't always happen this way, but because my dad had, a good job. So my parents were never in a survival security place. My dad went to his job. He worked hard. So he made enough money so my mother could do what she wanted to do. Her dream was to have children. She had 7 children. When they all grew up, she then had her own part-time job and raised her children, continued being a mother. She was a very happy lady, very traditional, very happy. My dad was very happy. He had his job. He came home. My mother didn't expect anything more from him. All he needed was good manners and not to get angry with her. Those are the things. My dad didn't get angry with her, and my dad had good manners. My dad had a job. My God, what more could you want from a man is what the women used to think. But once a woman is no longer limited just to her female side, she's liberated. This started happening in the 60s as women started saying, hey, I've got a male side. I want to be more independent. I'm more detached. I'm not so emotional. I'm a big problem solver. I'm competent. I'm capable. I'm tough. I work out. I exercise every day. I got muscles. All that is women going over to their male side. Fine. It feels good to go over the male side, particularly if your female side has been suppressed. It feels liberating. Okay, so you go over to your male side, you got to come back to your female side. The most powerful way to come back to your female side to feel balance. And when you find that balance, your stress levels go down. When you're out of balance, your stress levels go up. It's really simple. You got a male and female side. When you're too far in your male, you will be overwhelmed. You will feel resentful. You will feel exhausted. You will feel stressed. You will feel depression. All those things are as you stay too far on your male side because you're not connecting with another part of you. Because when you suppress who you are, there will be stress. So when women go too far to their male side, they're suppressing their female side. Now, all suppression causes stress. But at least in my mother's life, she was suppressing her male side. It didn't cause that much stress because she's a woman. But when women suppress their female side and express their male side, they're suppressing their female hormones that regulate her stress. Now, certainly if my mother was with a husband who was angry and had no manners and was selfish, was a drug addict, and didn't make any money, certainly that would cause a lot of stress because she wasn't getting what she needed. But once again, she wasn't getting what she needed so she could be on her female side. Okay, to be with a guy like that, you have to suppress your female side. So the greatest source of stress for women is when they suppress their female side. The greatest source of stress for men is when they suppress their male side. And that happens more and more when men can go to their female side and women can go to their male side. We're more stressed than ever before. So what's the answer? Is helping women, you have the power, is you come back to your female power by doing one of the things that's more feminine than anything else you can do. And that is sharing. That is basically emotionally undressing. That's opening yourself up. That's letting a man hear and see with respect. He has to listen with respect, with empathy, with compassion, with understanding. When you can unfold the layers of who you are in the presence of a man, that's what intimacy is about. And when women, you're feeling like, I want to know what he's feeling. I want to know what he's thinking. What you're really needing at those times is for him to know what you're feeling, what you're thinking. It's for him to go into you, not for you to go into him. You can go into him, you'll feel connection, and then you'll get turned off to him. He'll be like this wimp, needy person. It's like having a girlfriend, but you're dependent on that girlfriend and you can't get nothing. Instead, he goes into you, you feel like, oh my gosh, I feel more feminine, I feel happier, I feel safe. But you have to feel safe enough, and you have to trust. And trusting is to risk. You have to risk opening up in the presence of a man and communicating so that he will hear you. And of course, women go, oh, my husband's not interested, or oh, he ridicules me. He says that's ridiculous. You shouldn't feel that way. He tries to solve your problem. He minimizes you. Why? Because he doesn't understand that this is your female side. And all you need, this is how you get a man to listen, and how you as a woman can open up and share. Because when you can open up and share, and he comes into you with understanding, with caring, with empathy, with respect. Oh my gosh, the estrogen, the oxytocin that is produced is massive, and it will lower your stress levels. It will allow you to feel the love that he has for you. Unless he can enter you, you can't feel it. But you have to slowly open up layer after layer. So this is a process. I call it Venus Talks. This is how it looks. It's like, stop hiding all your feelings. See, women are like, I want men to show their feelings. Women, you're the biggest suppressors of feelings. You have 8 times more emotions than men do. Under moderate stress, you can measure the blood flow. 8 times more blood flow going to the limbic system where the emotions are. And women are feeling anxious, afraid, angry, frustrated, disappointment, afraid, ashamed, disappointed. All these emotions are going on like little fluctuations all the time. But she's learned push it down, push it down, push it down. Particularly in the work world, you can't reveal any of that because it will be seen as weakness. And it will. So it makes sense to push it down. But what you're doing is pushing down your feminine nature, which is more emotional. Now, women are more emotional. They're wired up. The limbic system, which is where the emotions get activated, is twice as big in women than men. It becomes 8 times more active under little stress. Under big stress, women detach. They become like men. But men who have under moderate stress pull away from their emotions to rebuild their testosterone. But if they lose their confidence, then they become more emotional than women. But at a normal level, women are way more emotional. So you come home from normal stress and you share that with your partner. And that looks like complaining. Just, this didn't happen and this didn't happen. This made me feel frustrated. And you go to a Venus talk, which is, what happened today that makes you feel frustrated? And occasionally use the term, I felt frustrated because. Then you talk about what happened that was disappointing, and I feel disappointed because. And then you go into what your concerns and anxieties and stresses are, and then I felt concerned that, or I feel concerned that. And then if you're really good at this, you can go even deeper in sharing yourself, and it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot to do this and this and this. I feel so embarrassed that I didn't do this and this. This is all like vulnerability. As she comes back to those emotions, feelings about what happened, behaviors that happened, then feelings about it, then the emotions linked to that. If she can share those emotions, a man can connect with those emotions. He may not be able to fully relate to everything you're going through, another woman would, but when you share an emotion, kabang, you got a man connecting with you. You got the male and female energy coming together, and you will experience a massive dose of coming back to your female side because you've got a man there to provide for you. This is an amazing gift. It's called Venus Talk. In the beginning, all it takes, you come home, you go on a date with a guy, whatever it is, whether you're single or married. You say, oh gosh, I'm so glad to see you. Already his testosterone goes up. Then you say, I just want to download my day. It will only take a few minutes, maximum 10 minutes. And then you just say, you don't have to say anything. Don't say anything. Actually, I just want to share what happened today. And then start sharing your experience. Share your real experience, your real emotions. Don't hide anything. It's called, my daughter Lauren, in her courses, calls it too much information, TMI, just for your information only. FYI as well. This is for your information only and too much information. Share the details. You have a brain that can do it. Now, maybe you shut it off. You have to open it up. Share your complaints. Share your negative emotions about your life, and none of it has to do with him. You see, complaining is a part of life. Women are big complainers, but if you complain to a man about him, he can't hear. He can't hear. No man can hear. You cannot hear someone criticizing you without your stress levels going up. And if his stress goes up, blood flow stops to the front part of his brain where he really can feel empathy and understanding for you. So forget about ever complaining to him. Instead, complain about other things. He will listen to you. He will feel greater empathy for you. He'll feel more bonded to you. He feels like he's giving you a gift. And how does he feel like he's giving you a gift? After about 8 minutes of complaining about other things, just start talking about how much you appreciate that he can be here, he can listen to you, that you feel so much better, and then go in for the hug. And just go in for a hug. Give him a little, count to 3. 1, 2, 3, just let it connect in. And then say thank you. And if you're at home, walk into another room. Why do you walk into another room? because you don't want him to try to fix or solve anything. You want him to be in that space where he goes, what just happened? I did nothing and she thanked me. I made her happier. She feels better. I like this. And over time, he really learns to listen and trust that she has the power to explore what her negative feelings and come out on the other end and be positive. And by his listening, he helps that process. And he can. It's a tremendous experience of intimacy. And when he does it, he listens. The most masculine thing, the most testosterone-producing thing a man can do is actually to be silent and listen. And for a woman, the most feminine thing she can do is to express how she feels. For a man, also, the most feminine thing he can do is to express how he feels. What, I feel like this, or I feel like this, or I feel like that, and complain. That's his feminine side. If he needs to express his feminine side, he should go talk to a bunch of men, particularly, not complain to her. But what she needs to do is complain to him, not about him, but about other things. If she needs to complain about him, she should talk to her girlfriends and get clear about it, come back to her heart, lower her stress by complaining, then identify what is it I'm really needing from my partner. And then when you're feeling loving and supportive, briefly say to him, hey, by the way, next time would you do this for me? Because always in the bottom of a complaint is a request. These are new communication skills, and as you learn them, you can be assured that you will continue to grow in love and support each other. Passion is possible, but we have to learn how women can come back to their female side and what she can do to bring out his male side. And as she understands these new challenges of the conscious man, the conscious woman can get what she needs as well.